Hi everyone, in this video we are going to go over Amazon stock as of Q4 2020. This includes the whole financial year of 2020 for Amazon. The data that I used in this video comes from their 2020 annual report on 10K. Also, if you enjoy this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, or even hit that bell to get notifications sent to you whenever I upload a new video, so you get this information in a timely manner. When it comes to investing, timely information can be critical, of course. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is going to be Amazon's business. As for the business, we are all familiar with Amazon. We all get all our cool stuff from there. Our porches are all filled with all of Amazon's packages, and they all get to us in a freakishly fast way. A little hard to believe sometimes how quickly it gets to you, but I'm not going to complain about it. The customers that they serve are consumers like you and me, business to business, and even government contracts when it comes to storage, etc. Amazon's management uses 3 different business segments. These segments are North America, International, and AWS, which stands for Amazon Web Services, which is their cloud storage, and they also offer their computing power to customers as well. I included this graphic specifically because it shows that they're having pretty solid, approximately 40%, give or take, with this year and last year, growth in domestic here in North America, where I'm located, international, and AWS. So I feel like they have a pretty solid growth rate worldwide. Now, one of the most important things for when valuing a company is what Warren Buffett refers to as an economic moat. And I've personally, in my opinion, have never seen someone with a 10 out of 10 economic moat, which here I refer to it as a competitive advantage. But Amazon comes pretty close. I can't imagine another company coming any closer or much closer than Amazon, and that is why I gave them a 9. So the reasons that I came to this conclusion is simply the size of Amazon, which helps them lower their variable cost. It gives them power over their suppliers. They have more negotiating power. Not only that, but they also have one of the most advanced shipping and logistics networks I've ever seen. Proof of this is no matter where you live, you probably have Amazon warehouses close to your house. And I've even read that they use your data to predict which item you might possibly order soon. And they go ahead and ship that product to a warehouse close to you just in case you order it, so they can eliminate the shipping time. And recently, something that impressed me about Amazon was that COVID seemed to not hurt it, but actually help it, which gives me a sense that this company is probably recession resistant. So for growth rates, I measure quite a few growth rates when it comes to valuing a company. The 3 highest were operating cash flow, earnings before tax, and net income that you can see over there that are all about 46, 45%. And the 3 lowest were revenue, gross revenue, free cash flow. Now, free cash flow, the lowest metric of all, or the lowest growth rate of all the metrics, still 22.43%, which blows other companies out of the water, and that's their lowest one. Also, notice how operating cash flow is their highest growth rate for income, for any income, and that is directly where free cash flow comes from. One note to take before I read this slide off to you is I use a 12% discount rate due to the fact that I could invest in an S&P 500 fund and most likely get a 12% total return every year. That's including reinvesting dividends. I also use a 2% perpetual growth rate because I use a 10-year horizon, which is so far in the future. The farther you go, the more risk you have in calculating correctly. So I use a pretty conservative perpetual growth rate. Once again on here, note that free cash flow is the lowest intrinsic value or present value per share at $2,147 per share. However, many investors do consider free cash flow to be the most important metric, which I agree with, because that money can go to all that money with the business still performing great, you still have all that money to give to lenders and equity owners. I consider it a good thing that this is being low because it will help our calculation be even more conservative and create a pretty confident interval for our intrinsic value of Amazon per share. Now, for the range, very difficult, if not impossible, to calculate an actual value per share. I shoot for a range. That range consisting of an optimistic growth rate and a pessimistic growth rate, optimistic being the max and pessimistic being the minimum. Also, to do this, I have to choose a income metric. And like we just discussed in the previous slides, that I feel like the best metric for that, for valuing this company, would be the free cash flow. Now, using the 30% growth rate for the next 10 years, I calculated $3,610. Using my pessimistic growth rate of 15%, I calculated $1,280 per share. Now, once again, I chose free cash flow because it was the lowest intrinsic value metric and lowest growth rate. And this helped me account for not necessarily the risk of the Amazon business model, but more importantly, the risk of Jeff Bezos seeming to not be as interested in Amazon anymore due to his changing positions there recently. I read it's still basically going to be the same, but I still see it as a signal of he's not 100% focused on Amazon like he once was obsessed with it. Also, in Amazon's management discussion and analysis section of their 10K, they said that their financial focus is on long-term sustainable growth rate and free cash flows. So I chose this. That just added more flame to my fire and decided to go with free cash flow. Now, for the growth rates, I chose the optimistic growth rate of 30% because their CapEx will likely shrink as they quit growing as much. They'll still be growing, just possibly not as much as they were. And I chose the pessimistic growth rate of 15%, which is warranted in my opinion due to a CapEx growth rate of 73% versus a growth rate of op cash flow of 47%. However, that op cash flow, as you might remember, was their fastest growing income metric. So it's the best situation possible to have a high CapEx. Like I said, that is how I created that range of 1280 through 3610. And as you probably know, the closer you can get to 1280, which is not probably going to happen anytime soon, the less risk and the more gains you will most likely get. And vice versa for a 3610. But even if you do buy it for $3,610 a share, it would still have, you would still be expected to get, in my opinion, the 12% gain per year. But you would have more diversification if you did choose the S&P 500 index in that situation. So if I was getting that close to 3610, I'd probably just rather invest in an S&P 500. Thank you all for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and even share with your friends if they're interested in investing. Also, let me know if you agree or disagree with my calculations. Please let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any more recommendations for stocks that I might not even know that exist right now, and you would like me to value them, please include those in the comments as well. And finally, thank you for watching, and go make some money.